Welcome to Daily Current Affairs series. Today we will discuss about 30th May current affairs. Myself Sunny Sandeep. Welcome to my channel Gear Up for Group 1 exam. Let us discuss the current affairs. The first one. GDP growth slows to 11-year low of 4.2%. Quarter 4 sums to 3.1%. Here what is the meaning of GDP? That is gross domestic product. If you see a financial year, there are 4 quarters. Financial year starts from April, May, June 1 quarter, July, August, September 1 quarter, October, November, December 1 quarter, January, February, March 1 quarter. That means quarter 4 means January, February, March 2019. That means GDP growth that slows to 3.1%. Here this growth is released by National Statistical Office, that is Statistical Commission, that is located in New Delhi. Here agriculture and government expenditure have been the saviors for that present GDP. If you see the NSO also revised downward its estimates for the first 3 quarters and pegged its growth estimate for the full year at 4.2%. Here this NSO will give it will estimate the future GDPs. Now it is reduced to 4.2% for full year. Here the most disturbing news is that 3 components of demand have fallen. What are they? The first one, consumption demand has slowed down, and while investments and exports are both in negative territory. That's why these 3 most components have demand have fallen down. Here another reasons are also there. They are the data from Controller General of Accounts, that is CGA, showing that center's physical position worsened. That means that is in worst condition. CGA, that is Controller General Accounts, data indicates that center's gross tax revenues have contracted by 3.4% in 2019 and 20. This is unprecedented. Fiscal deficit has increased to 4.6% of GDP, will above the revised estimate of 3.8%. In the budget 2020, there is a revised estimation of 3.8%. Now it is increased to 4.6% of GDP. What is the fiscal deficit? There is a difference between revenue and receipts and expenditure. That is known as a fiscal deficit. If we have seen a blue one indicates the nominal GDP growth and red one indicates the nominal GDP growth and blue one indicates the real GDP growth. Here if you want to know about what is the difference between nominal GDP growth and real GDP growth, in next slide we will see about it. Here what are the differences between nominal GDP, that is nominal gross domestic product, and a real GDP. The first one, what is the first meaning? Here total economic output produced valued at a current market price. That means nominal GDP is calculated at a current market price, but whereas total economic output produced and valued at a constant market price. Here real GDP is calculated as a constant market price. If you see the calculation for nominal GDP, we will take based on a current market price, and real GDP is as a constant market price. Here nominal GDP is included and in real GDP that is excluded. Here for value is usually higher the value due to the inflation. Here nominal GDP is higher value than real GDP. Here the most important one, usage. It is used to comparison across different quarters of output in a year for the same country. Here we have to underline that for different quarters in a year for the same country. It is not used for other countries and other years. Here if you see the real GDP, that means more appropriate for the comparison across years and across countries. This is the major difference between nominal GDP and real GDP. If you see the complexity, that is easier one nominal and difficult one real GDP. Analysis of economic growth. It is nominal GDP we can with the nominal GDP we cannot analyze the economic growth. With the real GDP we can analyze comparison across the countries. With the nominal GDP we cannot compare with across the countries. With the real GDP we can compare with the other countries also. This is the difference between nominal GDP and real GDP. Next one, anchoring ties with Canberra in a virtual way. There is a virtual meeting between India and Australia on June 4th. It is expected to that mutual logistic. What are the relations, important relations between these two countries? They are Australia and India. If you see that, it is expected to the mutual logistic support agreement, that is MLSA, that is mutual logistic support agreement, will be signed during the summit, that should enhance defense cooperation and ease the conduct of large scale joint military exercise. If you see that, last April Australia and India conducted AUSINDEX, that is a largest bilateral naval exercise. AUSINDEX is very important, and there are further developments on the anvil, including the Australia's permanent inclusion in the Malabar exercise. There is a Malabar exercise with the three countries, that is Australia, Japan and India. Here if you see that, in addition to it may be prudent for New Delhi and Canberra to elevate the 2+2 dialogue, that is format for talks from the secretary level to the level of foreign and defense ministers. There is a 2+2 dialogue, important 2+2 dialogue. For that, in addition to New Delhi and Canberra, there is a elevation required, that is 2+2 dialogue required. But beyond real politic of strategy is the managing cooperation in areas that matter to the lives of the people of the two nations: health, food and education. These are the three main concentrating issues, that is health, food and education. These two countries have to concentrate on these three things. Next one, GMR told to stop dredging in Canada. Which department ordered to stop that one? That is, the forest department has directed the GMR Energy Limited to stop the dredging activity in Kumbhabhishekam mudflat with immediate effect. Here, why I have taken this one? Why? Because it is important for environment. Here, if you see that in that Kumbhabhishekam, that is located in near Kakinada, there are vulnerable species are located in that Kakinada. That is, they are endangered great knots known as Calidris tentriotis and Indian skimmers Rhizops albicocilis, which are listed as a vulnerable species under the IUCN, that is International Union for Conservation of Nature. If you see that, there is a threat to the bund is an immediate threat. Here right side I have given a picture about bund. Bund means there is a slice between water, that is known as mud, that is known as a bund. The bund is an immediate threat impacting the soil topography, that means soil structure, that is impacting the soil topography and salinity on the site being leveled with the dredged material. There is also an impact of salinity on the water. That's why GMR told to stop the dredging in Kakinada. Next one. Here next three articles about the person in news. Here the first one, Major Suman Gawami chosen for UN award. Here a lady, that is Major Suman Gawami chosen for UN prestigious award. That is Major Suman Gawami of Indian Army, who served as a women peacekeeper with the United Nations mission in South Sudan, that is UNMISS, in 2018, has been selected for the prestigious United Nations Military Gender Advocate of the Year award. That means we have to improve that, or we have to propose the gender equality in any situation, or in any military or any tough situation also. We have to promote the gender equality. That's why Major Suman Gawami chosen for the UN award. She was selected to attend a specialized training on a conflict-related sexual violence, that is CRSV, at Nairobi, and participated in various UN forums to demonstrate how a gender perspective can help protecting civilians, especially from conflict-related sexual violence. That is CRSV at Nairobi. It is very very important. That is Major Suman Gawami chosen for UN prestigious award. That is Military General Advocate. Next one, second one, Virendra Kumar, a man who donned, that means donned means wearing a many hats with ease. That means he has put several hats in a easier manner. That means MP, he is also a MP. Virendra Kumar was an Indian politician. He is also a writer and he is also a journalist who was a member of the 14th Lok Sabha. He was the member of Lok Tantrik Janata Dal political party and president of Kerala state unit of the party. He was also the chairman and managing director and MD of the Malayalam daily newspaper Mathrubhumi. Now, he died on 28th May 2020 due to cardiac arrest at Kozhikode in Kerala. This person is very very prominent in Kerala. That there is a daily newspaper that is Mathrubhumi in Kerala. He is also a chairman and managing director of that. He is also MP, writer, journalist and also member of the Lok Tantrik Janata Dal. Next one, Ajit Jogi. We know about a state of Chhattisgarh. For that, it is carved out from Madhya Pradesh in 2000. That means for the first CM of Chhattisgarh is Ajit Jogi. Now he is passed away. Ajit Pramod Kumar Jogi, that is he born in 29th April 1946 and died in 29th May 2020. Was an Indian politician who served as the first chief minister of the state Chhattisgarh. He was a member of Janata Congress Chhattisgarh, that is INC political party. There are some controversies about on him. Jogi was booked under the Indian Penal Code sections 420 cheating in his caste, 467 forgery of valuable security, 468 forgery for purpose of cheating and 470 using a genuine forged document or electronic record. Here another controversy also on Ajit Jogi. That is Jogi and his son were arrested in connection with the murder of Nationalist Congress Party, that is NCP treasurer Ram Avatar Jaggi, who was shot and dead in June 2003. This is about the Ajit Jogi, first CM of Chhattisgarh. I have promised to make a previous paper analysis. That is in that, consider the following statements. The United Nations Convention Against Corruption, that is UNCAC, has a protocol against the smuggling migrants by land and sea and air. This is wrong. Why? Because it is concentrating against the corruption, that is UNCAC. And second one, the UNCAC is the ever first legally binding global anti-corruption instrument. It is right. Why? Because it is the ever first legally binding global anti-corruption instrument. Here third one, the highlight of United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime, that is UNTOC, is the inclusion of specific cheaper chapter aimed at returning assets to the rightful owners from whom they had been taken illicitly. That is wrong. Why? Because there is no returning of assets. Here the fourth one, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, that is UNODC, very very important. United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime is mandated by its member states to assist in implementation of both UNCAC, that is United Nations Convention on Against Corruption, and another one, United Nations on Transnational Organized Crime, that is UNTOC. Here, which of these statements given above are correct? A 1 and 3, B 2, 3, 4, C 2 and 4 only, D 1, 2, 3, 4 are. Here, by explanation, C is the right option. Why? Because 2 and 4 are the right options. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe to my channel. Gear up for Group 1 exam. Thank you. Bye bye.